All right, I'm visiting here with Brad Ken. He's from the land down under, and he has done some real estate deals here in the U.S. And let's talk about one of the things that you've been doing here, Brad. I have a picture here of a property that you tell me a little bit about it. It's I can almost read the address. 4319, is that, or 4359 or 39?
Yeah,
4319.
43. Yeah, Car Street.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about what you were doing here and how you managed to make some money on this.
Well, we originally did the response training. We came and did the buyers tour in Vegas, and we got a whole heap of information, and that was great. But then we were lucky enough to get hold of an American agent there that could help us out. There were very few people that were happy to do that. They thought there was some kind of scam or whatnot. But eventually we found this agent. So the agent, in turn, gave us a few options and came up with this opportunity to buy this property in Car Street. And it looked pretty good. I mean, we were talking, I think we purchased it for something like around the 35 mark, and the agent was saying it could be worth around 90 to 100. I guess to cut a long story short, we still ended up only walking away with about 10 grand profit, but still, it was a profit all the same. So it was a nice 3-bedroom property. The agent concerned also had their partner is actually a rehab specialist himself, so he was able to quote all of the work that needed to be done, we just approved the work as we went, and basically we sold it and we made some money.
Well, nothing wrong with that. I'm looking here now I originally had a picture of the front, and now I see the back of the house. It's a decent looking property. Nothing wrong with that. What all did you do here? I see in the kitchen, the cabinets. It's got a is that a Corian countertop? That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, we had the kitchen. We rehabbed the kitchen. We put down new carpets. We put in a shed out the back. There was a little bit of repair to do. There was a furnace there that was pretty old, and the agent was actually pretty good. He actually used to work for NASA, and there was a part missing that he couldn't get. He actually fabricated it himself, and got us through that problem. But the issue that really pulled us up in our tracks was a structural issue in it had like a half basement, so it was just more like a crawl space, and we had to put extra supports in there. And unfortunately, every time someone came to look at the property and got close and made offers, we were looking at over 100,000 at one stage. They kept finding this issue with the foundations, and they just ran a mile.
So how were you able to overcome that?
Well, we just found someone who was, I guess, not that concerned about it, we had issues with, I think, called Section 8 purchasers that were looking to buy it. They were all very keen, and of course, when their building inspector came through, they just say no, sorry, we're not doing the deal. Again, as I said, we found someone who was okay with it, and once we did the deal, and it all went ahead, and it was good. But it actually took far longer than we expected. I think it was probably all up about 4 months to get things rehabbed and sold. So it was a good learning experience for the moment, though. We're really focusing on buy and holds rather than flips.
Yeah, and part of the reason that people struggle with the real estate agents, you got to understand the agents only get paid if they sell something, and a lot of them don't have the courage to even mention to their seller that they're going to get a lower offer than all the money or something above what they're asking for. And so they kind of look at these kind of deals with a jaundiced eye, even though many cases such as this, the seller is selling a property that's, can we say, not quite fit, ready for prime time. You know, it's just not really, it needs work, it needs help. And this is, and that costs money, and there you have it. But I like what you've got here. I see the bathroom, very nice job there of modernizing that and making that look very nice.
Yeah, thanks. We actually think they did a really good job, and our hats off to the guy that did the rehab. Although he was maybe a little bit too particular and a little bit, he did his work a bit slower than most. So, we were hoping we'd be in and out in a much shorter time, and it's obviously it's a big difference trying to do this rehab across the pond compared to us doing the work in our own country, or you doing the work in your own country, where you can keep an eye on things and give things a bit of a push. The experience, it was good. We will do it again, but we won't be doing it again for a while.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't even matter. It's, when you say, you are all the way in Australia, and that's a fairly long flight, but I do properties in Florida, and I live in Utah, and so that's an adventure in its own right. Same kind of thing you're doing, because I'm not able to just, drive down to see what's going on the job site, if you know what I mean. But I really like what you did here, and you did make a little bit of money, so there's nothing wrong with that thinking. So that's cool. So now tell me a little bit more about what you're doing as far as getting into buy and hold properties then, huh?
Okay, so we've travelled around. Pretty much we've been through Columbus and found that's a bit too expensive. We did look at other areas that we were recommended to look at, and we're finding our sweet spots probably around the mid-20s to $30,000 mark. We're finding we're able to pick up properties at that price, do a rental rehab for around $5,000 or less if we can. In some cases, we're able to pick up properties that are already rented and just get them straight on the books. So primarily we bought a few in Lorraine, and now we're sort of looking Cleveland Heights, Euclid, and that area we're finding is pretty good as well. But we actually went and did a trip to the US only a few months ago, and we're finding that that's invaluable, being able to go around with the agent, look at the properties. I mean, they're long days. We're looking at lots and lots of homes, making lots and lots of offers, but you need to really see what it is you're buying, because you're just placing far too much risk on the transaction, expecting the agent to take the responsibility for that.
Yeah, they're kind of incentivized to just sell it at the longest possible dollar, and so they're in. You got the fox guarding the chicken coop kind of thing there. Yeah. So, well, this is awesome. I appreciate your sharing this with me. And did you have anything you wanted to add here?
No, probably the only thing would be just really do your due diligence carefully, and probably overestimate whatever you think or whatever the quote is for the rehab. Add another $5,000.
I believe that. I think that makes sense. That's very good. Well, good. I'm going to end the recording here, and then